Orleans Saints podcast, presented by Rouse's Markets. You'll hear from players, coaches, broadcasters, and writers that cover the NFL daily. The New Orleans Saints podcast starts right now. Here are your hosts, Erin Summers and Todd Graffagnini.
Welcome to the New Orleans Saints podcast, back after a day off yesterday. It's Erin Summers and Todd Graffagnini, brought to you, as always, by Rouse's Markets. It was a pretty full day today. There were a couple different team sessions. We saw different quarterbacks going with the one. Spencer Rattler started off with the first team, and then the next set of team drills they did, it was Tyler Shuck who got them, and they utilized two fields again. So there was that aspect of it as well, trying to maximize their reps and what they were able to do in a shorter amount of time.
Yeah, Erin Summers burying the lead again. It is Erin Summers' birthday, ladies and gentlemen. So it is our second birthday edition of the New Orleans Saints podcast, presented by Rouse's. Happy birthday, Erin. Yes, it was very productive.
Thank you.
Yes, it was good. This was really the first time that we've saw a more efficient practice after an off day. I thought they looked much better. Again, you want to see good things from both sides of the ball, and we did. I was impressed with the running game for a couple of reps during 11 on 11. We really haven't seen the runners break free very often. We saw Kendre Miller had back-to-back really strong runs, then Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And then you go on the other side, and then on back-to-back plays, you saw Devon Godchaux, who, again, has just been ridiculous as the nose tackle in this 3-4 defense, just stuffed two runs on back-to-back plays. We saw good reps like you talked about with Rattler. We saw them with Tyler Shuck. And we also saw good plays in the defensive backfield, specifically Jordan Howden, Alontae Taylor. Howden had an interception in it. Alontae Taylor dropped a pick six, and Howden dropped another pick six. But the fact that they're in position to make these plays is positive in itself. So, again, good work on both sides. Very quick, very efficient, got the amount of reps in. And now it is off to California tomorrow.
It is. And Coach Moore did talk a little bit about how that's going to go, saying that practices will be moved to the afternoon. And then on Friday, they will do another scrimmage, not 126 plays, a little bit lighter than we saw on Sunday. But they're going to get in some tough work before a preseason game on Sunday. It's going to be interesting.
I tell you what, thinking about the Crawford Field, we're going from 4 to 6 in the afternoon. They don't have lights out there, so it's not going to be completely, twilight, but it's going to be, getting near sunset, and it's going to be a little warmer that time of the day out there. So not the cool mornings we were used to during training camp out in Irvine last year. It's going to have a little bit more of a New Orleans feel, though it won't be as humid. But, yeah, it's going to be different practicing in the afternoon because we haven't done that in years and years.
Yeah, mixing up the schedule a little bit. They're flipping their meetings and their walkthrough to the morning, and then going to go and actually practice in the afternoon. So we'll have all the content from there. Todd and I will be there every single day. You can follow us and, of course, listen to the podcast right here for the breakdown, since those are closed practices. In regards to the secondary and what we've been seeing from the cornerbacks and the safeties, we talked to Ugo Amadi after practice, and he said that their eyes are really locked in more on the quarterback this year. And that's something that's been emphasized. And he says that he thinks that's going to lead to them being able to get more of their hands on balls, interceptions, just that pressure that they're bringing on the quarterback, adding that the front line is coming at you as fast as they possibly can. Hopefully we see the defense really pop this season and force a lot of those turnovers.
Yeah, I had a chance to talk to Terry Joseph, who is the defensive backs coach and defensive pass coordinator, and we're going to hear that interview in just a little bit. But he's really excited about the room. And, again, you got to remember that Tyrann Mathieu retired the day before training camp.
Yeah.
And Julian Blackman came in, 24 hours later, and he's looked like he's been here for years. Justin Reed has been really good. You've got some experience. Even though Kool-Aid McKinstry is just in his second year, he's made that jump at the right cornerback. I mean, Erin, I'm, doing my observations. He didn't give up any completions today. They won't even throw his way right now. He has been that good as a lockdown right cornerback, and then you see Alontae Taylor sometimes on the left side, Isaac Yiadom also, but then they'll move Alontae to the slot, and you see what he can do not only as a blitzer coming up to try to rush the quarterback, but he's a really, really good nickel slot cornerback as well. And you've got experience there. You've got guys that have taken NFL snaps, and a lot of them all the way around, except for McKinstry, who might be having the best camp out of them all. So it's and I don't want to leave out Quincy Riley, or who's been working with the twos at cornerback as well, and he's just a rookie. He's a draft pick. So, I mean, Terry Joseph's pretty excited about what he's got. I want to see them go up against other colors, other teams with wearing different jerseys. That's what I want to see, and that's going to come on Sunday.
Yep. And running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire talked after practice about that fact, because Moore touched on one person is not going to play Sunday, and that is running back Alvin Kamara, because they don't need to see that. They know what they got there. Everybody else in the running back room is going to play, and Edwards-Helaire said they have to go up against somebody else, because for a running back, you're not getting those true live reps in situations at practice. So he said it's really important for them to get that run on Sunday. And that's definitely a position group that there are some question marks at. And it should be fun to see if all of them, as Coach Moore said, all the other backs are going to get time Sunday, how that plays out.
I don't see why they would not. I mean, if Alvin's not going to play on Sunday, I would imagine that Clyde's going to be running with the ones and Kendre Miller's going to be running with the twos, and that's just the normal step up, because it's been Kamara and Edwards-Helaire and Miller 1, 2, 3. So everybody should move up a notch, and then we'll see what happens after that. But there's going to be plenty of care. Just hopefully, what you want to see is obviously for the offense to move the ball and get first downs and get as many repetitions as possible in the game itself, so you have a chance to really look at these guys for an extended period of time, because 3 and outs aren't really going to do anybody a whole lot of good other than the punters, and you don't want to see the punters a whole lot. So you just hope that drives get extended, and you see those 10, 11, 12 play drives on Sunday to really give the extended look at everybody out there.
And that's kind of been Tyler Shuck's MO. He really seems like a quarterback that's just going to dink and dunk it down the field, not go in for those long balls like we've seen from Spencer Rattler. So even in that regard, Coach Morris said he's not picked who's starting, the rotations, how much people are playing, but just to kind of see their styles and how those continue to develop throughout the rest of camp.
We're also seeing too, they're putting the install into a little more zone read, a little more RPO, design quarterback runs, and we've also seen in the last couple of practices that the quarterbacks are not afraid to take off if they've got any type of daylight, if the pocket is crashing around them and they see an opening, they're going to go. We saw it today with Rattler. We saw it on Sunday with Shuck, who would have had a couple of really big gains. And Shuck's a lot quicker than you think he is. And that's a big dude at 6'5", and he can move a little bit. So you've got mobility. You've got an opportunity now, no matter who's at quarterback. If the play breaks down, it's not going to be an automatic sack. You could actually turn it into a positive. You could turn it into a big gain. And that's what these quarterbacks do bring to the table, where you really didn't see that last year with Carr.
Moore seems to have an answer for everything and an option. And it was fun talking to Clyde, because he said that you can see that he's picked from every spot that he's been, like how to maximize. Obviously last year was Saquon Barkley and the running back, and then you go to Dallas and it's the quarterback, wide receivers that you really are trying to highlight there. So he's picked and really seen what he has on the team and maximized the potential, and really has a variety of options for anybody on the team.
It's really a good spot for the Saints to be in with Kellen Moore as the head coach, because even though he's so young, he's had a lot of experience. And we talked about this in our first podcast, how, he's from a football family, and his father is a head coach, and his brother was a player along with Kellen Moore, and an outstanding college player. So he's gotten so many he's got so many influences to where he is drawn from all of this experience despite his young age. And now as a head coach, he has an opportunity to implement everything that he's learned throughout the years.
And it looks like it's been going well so far. The players, again, always speak very highly of him anytime we get a chance to talk to them. Cam Jordan did complain a little bit, as maybe one would in their older age, about the scrimmage and how many plays they ran and how they had to practice with pads 2 days later. But I digress.
I mean, it wasn't like Cam was out there for 126
No, he played
reps.
all of them. You didn't see?
I mean, come on.
Gotta love it.
We love you, Cam. We love you.
Yeah, definitely do. Graff, you did sit down with defensive backs coach and passing game coordinator Terry Joseph. I'm sure you guys had a lot of fun chatting, so I'm going to send it over to your interview now.
All right, thank you, Erin. Here with defensive backs coach and defensive passing game coordinator Terry Joseph. And coach, we've known each other 30 years now. Just a couple of baseball guys hoping one day to make it big, and here we are 30 years later, and you're in the NFL and I'm in the NBA. Who would ever believed it?
No doubt about it. You know, those long nights at Kurt Schrooney many, many years ago. But, you know, it's a true testament that life comes full circle. And we've been blessed with opportunities, and we took advantage of the opportunities that we've had.
Coach, you've been all over the country in your coaching career. You've been to some great universities, just unbelievable places to coach. And when you got the call from Kellen Moore that you were going to end up back in New Orleans, your hometown, with the Saints, what was that like for you?
It was almost a surreal experience, you know, to go from finishing recruiting, before that losing in a semifinal game. You have these range of emotions going on, and then to kind of start feeling the week of the Super Bowl that Kellen was going to be the guy, you kind of start, you know, making some calls and getting your ducks in a row and just hoping that it falls your way. And then to finally get the call from Kellen was mind-blowing. And then it took me probably less than 5 seconds to say, when you need me there.
That's great stuff just to hear that. Look, it's been kind of a whirlwind training camp. I mean, you get this thing going and boom, you know, we're 2 weeks in now, and it's been a lot of fun to watch on both sides of the ball. Of course, you're with the DBs, and you've got a pretty solid room back there that are, you know, making plays every single day. But I want to go back to when we found out just the day before training camp when we heard that Tyrann Mathieu was not going to play anymore. He was going to retire. What was that like? And just getting to know him a little bit, what was that like for the room?
Yeah, you know, as a man and a person and a fan, you know, obviously you want him to, he deserves to go out on his own terms. And so for him to make that decision, when he made it, how he made it, he totally deserved that. You know, as a coach, obviously you're disappointed because you want to coach that type of player. But at the same time, when something like that happens, it brings more opportunity for the other guys. And so our personnel department, scouting department were on top of it. We were able to get Blackman here probably within 24 hours. And then we already had some equity built up in the guys from the spring. And so to see those guys continue to grow with the leadership of Justin Reed and those guys really finding their way, and the competition's been fierce. And, you know, in Coach Staley's system, we're going to play a lot of DBs, a lot of different packages. So a lot of guys got different opportunities to do different things. And the big thing that we talk about them is show your skills, and we'll fit your skills into a spot in the system. So it's been fun to watch early on.
It's really been unbelievable watching Julian Blackman. I mean, you would have thought he'd been here for 5 years. I mean, to just come in literally off the street, come in, and now he's, you know, running a lot with the ones. We see Jordan Howden back there as well. At times, Justin Reed, another veteran. You've got experience now back there. We haven't even talked about what Kool-Aid McKinstry has done during training camp, but Isaac Yadam on the other side, along with Alontae Taylor. You've got some guys that have played a lot of NFL snaps.
Yeah, you know, we're excited about it. You know, I think one of the biggest traits that we look for is football intelligence. And you can see all of those guys that you just mentioned, they've played ball, they can figure it out, they've seen a lot, so they can adjust on the fly. And I think the biggest thing is we start getting deeper in the camp is starting to get those groups reps together where they can really get the feel of, hey, this guy likes to do this guy rather not do that, and where we can gel everything up as we get going and prepare for Arizona.
I don't know what you're seeing on film, Coach, but just to this untrained eye watching Kool-Aid McKinstry day after day, it just looks like he's getting better every single practice, every single rep. I mean, he's turning into a lockdown guy over there on the right side. And the jump that he has made from his rookie season to his second year seems to be significant.
Yeah, no doubt. I've been knowing that's probably one of the advantages of me and Bo joining the staff, because we knew a lot of these guys through the recruiting process. So I've been knowing Kool-Aid for a long time. Obviously, playing in Coach Saban's system, the guy has a football mind. He's seen a lot. But I think the biggest thing that Kool-Aid's done is he's dedicated himself to getting his body to be a corner body. So now you see a guy who has a football mind, but he also has the equipment body-wise to move better. And I think you're seeing quicker out of his breaks. He always can recognize it, but if your body's not in tip-top shape, you might be a step or two steps behind. But now he's beating the receiver to the spot, so it's been fun to watch.
I was just telling Bobby Hebert a little while ago, I think Alontae Taylor's going to have a huge year. Just the way you guys utilizing him in the slot. You can move him out to the left side as well. It just seems he has a lot of freedom back there to do what he wants to do, especially come in and rush the quarterback.
Yeah, it's a funny college recruiting situation. Like, probably 10 years ago when we recruited guys and said you're going to play nickel, the kids got turned off because they thought I'm only going to play on third down. So the smart guys in college changed the position to star. And so everybody wants to be a star. And so, but Alontae has game-changing ability from the slot. He's big, fast, elite cover ability. So he gives you a lot of options by playing that star position. And he's a threat to do so many different things, so it's hard to scheme him up. And then if we do get in base people, yeah, he can go outside and still do his thing at corner. But having a guy with that skill set in the NFL these days is invaluable.
We finally hit a game week. We're going to have a game on Sunday in LA against the Chargers. Just how much are you looking forward to, and how much are your guys looking forward to getting out there and finally hitting somebody else?
Yeah, obviously with the rules being a little bit different, contact is limited. But really, to get out there against somebody with a different colored jersey and really kind of see where we're at. It's one thing to see it in practice. You kind of see repetitive plays, at times. But just to go out there against a different opponent, probably see something we hadn't seen yet, just to see who can figure it out and who can go make a play. It's not going to be perfect, but we want guys to compete, play with great effort, and we really want to start putting our style of play on tape.
All right, Coach, before I let you go, I got to know, you've been at some unbelievable schools. I mean, you were just at Texas for the last 4 years. You were at Notre Dame. You were at A&M. You were at Tennessee. I don't know if you could narrow it down, but is there one game on a campus, in a campus setting, that you came out either as a coach for the team or against that you'll remember for a very long time? Because again, I'm a college guy at heart as well.
Yeah, well, I think the money Texas has put into the stadium, especially on a night game with the drones and all, is an unbelievable environment. Baton Rouge, almost getting your bus flipped driving in. Obviously, that's something that's pretty fun. And then Georgia at night is an awesome experience. And I think one place that I kind of like, especially a night game, is Auburn, because I think, they have the whole DJ kind of flow, and it kind of is half nightclub, half football game. And then, it's just a great experience.
Coach, again, so happy you're back here in your hometown coaching football with the Saints, and best of luck to you, the team, the rest of the year. It's just going to be great to see every single day.
I really appreciate it, and look, man, it's been a long time.
It has been. That is defensive backs coach Terry Joseph for your New Orleans Saints on the pod. Erin, back to you.
Thank you, Todd, for grabbing that interview for us. I was able to catch up with NFL Network analyst Brian Baldinger when he was over at practice as well. I'm going to get his thoughts on the Saints team and what he thinks the rest of the division is going to look like this season. Brian, thanks for joining me on the New Orleans Saints podcast. You're out and about at training camps for the past couple of weeks now. What's your MO when you get to camp?
I love to see the new guys, introduce myself to the new guys, see the old guys. So I'm Scott Linehan, helping out here for Kellen. I mean, I've known Scott for over 20 years, but looking at, the Cam Jordans of the world, but getting to meet Kelvin Banks. So I just like to eyeball the new guys, say hello to Alvin, and some of the guys I've known a long time in this business or in this team, and just get face-to-face with them, let them know that I'm watching, and wish them the best of luck.
With the new head coach here at the Saints and Kellen Moore and his success that he's had as an offensive mind, what do you think he's going to bring to this team?
think just the way he conducts himself. I mean, he's got a calm confidence. I think he's got the players' attention. I think the players like him, and they're listening to him. They look like they're looking forward to practice rather than dreading practice. So I think all those things. He brings a lot of leadership, and his style of doing things has proven. I mean, he just won a Super Bowl in Philadelphia. That was his offense. I think that he keeps from being a player to his dad, who was his high school coach, the whole thing. Like, it's just in his blood.
You mentioned Kelvin Banks. Looking at the offensive line here, last year depleted with injuries. How important is continuity for that group, and what do you think that they're going to be able to do?
It's everything. They lost Eric McCoy in the third week of the season and kind of fell apart from there. But look, I mean, I think Fuaga can play anywhere. I think Kelvin's got, he's off to a good start, but he's got everything it takes to be as good as he wants. And, Caesar is just so smart and veteran. Like Trevor and Eric, they got a chance to be really good. If they come together and gel and stay healthy, they could be a top 10 offensive line.
We like to hear that. And it is back and forth throughout camps. Defense wins one day, the offense the other, which tends to be the case. But the defensive line looks really good and much different under Brandon Staley and his defensive scheme going to a 3-4, which we haven't seen in a long time here for the Saints. The versatility seems like it's really important to him for the players on the defensive side. How do you think these players will fit into that scheme?
Remains to be seen. But, Brandon Staley did have the number one defense in football a few years ago, and they won a Super Bowl when he was there. And so he knows how to scheme. He knows how to put players in position. Kool-Aid gets a chance to really step up. Alante is, a lockdown guy in the slot. They've got pieces right now. And so now it's a question, really, can the front four, can you get the rotation, the passing downs? Can you affect the quarterback? Can you keep the guys healthy over the course of a season?
Which players on this team are you looking forward to seeing this upcoming season think may take a leap forward?
Well, I'm anxious to see what the quarterback does. Obviously everybody's watching the battle, with Spencer and Tyler and Jake. So, who comes out of it, who wins that job, I think that's, number one. But I'd like to see Alvin, behind a really good, healthy offensive line and see if he can get back to, some of the production that he had for most of his career. It's the speed that the wide receivers have, and can they create the explosive plays that every offense is looking for?
A lot of people have asked, is Alvin Kamara going to be Saquon Barkley this year, and does he want that many touches? And Alvin said, well, I'm going to have to give Saquon a call and see how he felt on Sundays, and then maybe go from there. But how do you think that his talent is going to be utilized best in this scheme?
He's a great receiver. He's great in the screen game, and he's a talented runner. He's got tremendous contact balance, always has. And so, but I don't think, Saquon had almost 500 touches. I don't think that would be a good recommendation for Alvin at this stage of his career. He's a little bit older than Saquon, and he's got probably more carries over the course of his career. But regardless, I think you need, Alvin, if you give him in that 15 touches range, I think you're in good shape right there, and maybe on some Sundays 20. But I think you're going to need Kendry. You're going to need, some of these other guys to step up as well.
When you look across the NFC South, there are a lot of question marks, especially at that quarterback position for the Panthers. Is Bryce Young going to be as good as it seemed he was towards the end of the season? And what is Michael Penix Jr. going to do this year? Baker Mayfield? How do you think things are going to shake up?
I think Tampa's a team to beat. That they've owned that division the last 4 years. Baker has been, there's only 10 quarterbacks in the history of the game that did what Baker did last year. And he's got, they lost their left tackle right now. That's a big loss for right now. We'll see when he comes back. But, I'm excited. I'm going to see Michael Penix Jr. tomorrow. I'm excited about what he can do. He's got a big arm. And I want to see, what he could do in his second year and full year of starting. And it looked like Bryce really turned the corner at the end of the season last year. So, sometimes it takes a little while for these guys to figure out the league and to get the team built around them and to get the pieces in place. But I wouldn't write this division off by any stretch. I think it's going to be back to really a competitive NFC South. I
like to hear that. Okay, can you finish the statement for me?
Okay.
If the Saints do this, they will be successful.
I think if the Saints stay healthy, number one, obviously they were decimated last year. And if the offensive line comes together, I think whatever quarterback plays has a chance to be successul. And you got 2 home games to start the season, winnable games. If they can start 2-0 and gain some confidence under a new coach, who knows?
All right, we started 2-0 last year, and it was looking pretty good.
It was.
A lot of different pieces.
It should have been the Eagles in week 3, though.
A lot of different pieces here, but thank you so much for the time.
You're welcome. Thank you.
that wraps up things here in Metairie for a little while because the team is heading to California tomorrow. The team and both of us, Todd and I, will be on the plane, and first practice will be Thursday. Again, later, 4 o'clock Pacific time. So that's going to be 6 o'clock here. So just before you go to bed, go to NewOrleansSaints.com, check out the socials and see what happened at practice, or you can always check in the morning and see what you missed there. Appreciate it, Todd. And for everybody, we will bring you everything that we can from Cali very, very soon. Thanks as always for listening.
Thanks for listening to the New Orleans Saints podcast presented by Rouse's Markets. Join us 3 times per week on NewOrleansSaints.com, the Saints mobile app, or you can download the podcast on iTunes. We'll see you next time, right here on the New Orleans Saints podcast, presented by Rouse's Markets.